So I wanted to talk about the concept of musicality. So I heard a phrase, and then it really got me thinking about what exactly is musicality. And it was the saying was like, I can feel the music when I'm playing, but I can't play or I can't create from my feelings. Okay, so you can feel it when you're playing, but you can't play or create from your feelings. And to me, the second part about it, the ability to create from your feelings, is what is the highest level of musicality. And that's like what's aspirational. So when I talk about musicality and I talk about that, and I'm talking more in general about instrumentalists, there's basically two aspects that I think about. One is the technical proficiency, the other one is the emotional proficiency. The technical proficiency is all of this stuff. If you're learning to play the cello, it's how you hold the bow. It's how you hold the cello in between your legs. If you're playing the horn, it's how you learn how to blow in the horn. And guitar, it's all the complexities, the freedom with your fingers, the choice of picks, the deciding upon the gear. And I think what happens is that we get so caught up in the technical proficiency, we treat it as a sport. So anybody who's been an athlete or has ever trained for something, you practice all day long. It could be like if you're trying to learn how to play blues, you might be practicing bends and all over the place. How did Stevie bend? How did Jimmy bend? How did Jeff Beck bend? And do that. That's the technical proficiency aspect of it, and so much is spent on that um, that we never learn the second part of the musicality, which is the emotional aspect of that. A lot of times I'll watch YouTube and you'll see a young kid that's like, Bonamassa was different though when I saw him when he was as a kid. You'll see a phenom blues player and they've got what seems to be all of the technical chops down. They're fast, their fingers, their picks, or whatever they're doing. It's on point. They're way, way advanced. They're kind of prodigies from that, but something's always missing, and that's the emotional aspect of the music in and of itself. Because part of the musicality is your life experiences and the marriage of the two. That's why when you see blues singers, you don't have to have lived the blues to play the blues, but the best blues singers end up having some aspect of the blues in them. And that's the emotional aspect that transcends the technical portion of that. So, how can you improve your musicality knowing that there is a technical aspect and there is an emotional aspect? So, we might spend most of our time just on the technical aspects, which is, studying, learning, so much of that time at the expense of the emotional aspect. There's a way that I found that actually helped me, which is to go slow and even slower. That's when you start being able to create, not just feel the music. So, if I'm playing something, it might be like an A minor seventh and descending to G minor seventh. You know, during the formative learning years, it's more about it's fast and it's getting the technical aspects of that. But going slow helps you with the micro motor skills, but it's also getting your mind attached to the feelings from that perspective. So, I think anything that you practice, you should practice slowly at some points. That's why I am a firm believer that one of the best ways to improve your musicality and become better at any instrument is to learn to play ballads, bar none. I can tell a player not by how they blow over Donnelly, but by how they blow over something that's a lot slower. Let's put it that way. So it isn't about just the fast beat bop lines. I can tell. Okay, yeah, that's a bad boy. That's a bad gal. They know the scales. They know how to play that. But going slowly and developing, like my favorite song is Mikosa. Okay, that's my favorite West songs, and the West Montgomery chord solos. Those are the things that to me, when I listen to that I know that that person, in this case Wes, has gotten to that level of musicality. So there are ways that you can improve your musicality. Go slow. From that perspective, you can't create your life experience. That's one of the things I tell people. Your experiences are your life experience. I might buy guitars, but I can't play like the heroes who played this because I didn't have their life experience. I can't play like Barney Kessel. I can't play like Wes Montgomery. I can only play like myself based upon my life experience. And I play every song differently from time to time, depending upon how I'm feeling. And that to me is when I'm trying to aspire to the musicality, and that's what you bring to the table. So just be careful of as you're learning to play the instrument, and if you ever want to master it, which is very, very difficult, you need to work on musicality. You need to go slow. You need to, be proficient on it technically, but let's not lose sight of the emotional aspect and why something moves us when we're listening to an individual play. Okay, so not to be metaphysical, just wanted to have that thought in terms of talking about musicality overall. It's a combination of not just the technical ability, but the emotional level of your playing that you bring to it. And it's a development. It's always a work in progress, and there are little steps you can take. Don't treat it like a sport. It's not about how fast you can go. It's not even about how cleanly you can play. Okay, it's about, can you move a listener, or can you move yourself? Can you create from your feelings as opposed to just feel the music? I think that's the highest level. At some level, that's where I want to be at. Not only can I feel the music, but I can create from the feelings that I have. All right, then. Thank you for watching. Still practice, practice, and practice some more.